Welcome back, everyone. This is going to be part two of my three-part series that I talked to you about yesterday. Yesterday or the day before that, I can't even remember. Hope you're doing well. I'm Raza. I'm the manager of this page, and wherever you see me, I'm always talking about a few things. One, I'll either be talking about marketing or some topic on marketing, high performance, or emotional intelligence. Those are the topics that I am fascinated with really over the past 10, 12 years right now. And it's really, within marketing, of course, I talk about, social media, book publishing, building offers, all those kind of stuff. It's a lot of things I like. And plus, I find that, a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners that follow me on social media or any other platforms, I feel like I can add value. I feel like I can bring a lot of the information to you, insights to you, gold nuggets to you in a way that you can apply it. So I hope you've already watched part one of this three-part series. If you haven't, watch that first. And then today I want to build on part two. And I'm actually kind of going in the reverse order. So the part one that I did yesterday or whenever, part one that I did is actually the final piece of the puzzle. I'm actually going backwards. I'll tell you why I'm doing that is because everyone wants to run ads. And I'll tell you, it breaks my heart when I see people who go and spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on ads and it doesn't get them results. And it continues to go into the negative and negative, and they're not seeing a return on their ad spend. So I started there so that I can grab your attention, right? And I said in that video on that uh, in that session that there is a precursor to it. And this is the precursor that I want to talk to you about right now. Okay. So, welcome everybody. Settle in. Make sure you grab notepad and pen. And let's dive right into it. So, of course, I'm going to share my whiteboard with you. These have been like whiteboard sessions. I feel like I can illustrate more in doing this thing. Okay, so let me just quickly share my screen with you so that we can get going here. Um, and by the way, thank you so much for all of the comments that you sent to me. Many of you sent me messages as well. Somebody said to me, is like, where do you get all this information? Where and I said a couple of simple things. I'll share that with you. You see, the things that I'm sharing with you, this is not something that, you just cook up. It's something that I've applied, some things I have learned. I'm surrounded by people, and I attend masterminds as well. People who are applying these strategies already in online businesses, offline businesses, in the marketing arena. I'm always talking to other business owners who are doing millions of dollars in revenue to bring you these strategies. And I hope I can articulate them in a way that can make a difference for you. Okay. All right, back to screen share. Let's do this. Share screen and start. So it should be coming up right now. And voila. Okay, so you see it. Where's my whiteboard? Where's my whiteboard? Okay, there we go. Okay, so let me see where I can bring out my squiggly handiwork yesterday that we did. This was Yeah, there we go. So this was the work that we had done yesterday. Again, if you want to make sense of all this work that we did, you're gonna have to watch the video that I did, which was the part one. So today, let's grab a new notepad and let's get started. And today, what I want to do is I want to talk to you about the second part. So the first part we talked about ads and really putting a buck or two a day to your short videos. And we talked about what kind of category of videos you want to create, what kind of content you need to create, and then put money behind that. Today, I want to talk to you about something that needs to happen before you get to that point, and that is you need to create what we call an omnipresence factor. Okay. So omnipresence factor. There we go. I just want to make sure that you guys see it. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so omnipresence factor. What is the omnipresence factor? The omnipresence factor simply is you want to be everywhere all at the same time. Okay. So at the same time. So this concept was first introduced, and again, it is true for a lot of people who have a big brand power, is they are everywhere. When you go on YouTube, you find them there. When you go on Facebook, they're there. When you open up your podcast, they're there. When you read a blog, they're there. Like, they're everywhere. So how do you as an entrepreneur who is going on your journey and learning all of these things, how can you systematize your omnipresence factor? Now, there are multiple different names that are used for this. One of my business partners, his name is Ken. He uses a term called the auto content loop. I call it the omnipresence factor. It was the thing that I introduced to small businesses. What we do is we send a camera crew in to the business every single month, small service-based businesses, camera crew in there, and we record them. We ask a few questions and have the business owner answer those questions for you, kind of record them in their work environment and the things that they do. And then we take that and we repurpose that content. So let's talk about that. How do you create omnipresence? How do you show up everywhere all at the same time for your audience and build a trust factor? So yesterday, I talked to you about the kind of videos that you want to create, and that was short form videos, generally videos in about a minute to a minute and a half long. That's different. This is to create an omnipresence factor. Now, by the way, all of the videos that you do create, the minute to minute, 30-second videos, you can create long form videos on it as well. And you start with some sort of a base. Now, what do I mean by a base? A base could be anything, like for me, base is video, right? I can turn the camera on and I can start talking, and that serves as my base. That's my starting point. For some of you, you might not have developed as much of a comfort yet with videos. That doesn't mean you don't do them. That just means your base might just be sitting down and writing your content out. Like, you might be writing, your base might be a blog post, right? Or somebody else's base might be like a, LinkedIn post, and then they expand on it, right? So you will have to find a base of yours. For me, the base is video, and that's where I'm going to start. Now, how do I use video? So what I do is every week I dedicate about 20 to 30 minutes, generally on a Friday, 20 to 30 minutes to produce 2 to 3 10-minute videos. Okay. And we'll talk about what I talk about in that videos later on. But what I do is generally on a Friday, sometimes on the weekend, I dedicate about 20 to 30 minutes to create 10 to 10-minute videos. Like, they're generally short 10 minutes, and I create 2 or 3 of them. Now, once this video is created, then now my content is ready. Like, basically, this is my only point that I create content on. And then from here, it is repurposed. Now, this is where you can, and I'll talk about the repurposing. What does that mean? This content that you just created, the video, now you can create that video in anything. You can use Zoom, you can use your camera, whatever it is that you would like. You create a video, then that very video can just be uploaded to YouTube, and you start building out your YouTube channel now. Okay, you make sure that you put the title for, the title of the video should be attractive, something that people are looking for, and you now start building your YouTube channel. Now, the thing about YouTube you want to know is that when people Google you, your YouTube videos pop up, right? By the way, people can Google you, right? Right? That's a verb now. So you created this video, and now you just took this video and you uploaded it to YouTube. Okay. So now you have a YouTube videos that every single week you are uploading 2 or 3 videos that are building up your YouTube social media presence. Now, what else can you do? You can take that very video now, or the YouTube video link, and you can convert it into an audio file. Do you know what an audio file is, by the way? It is your podcast. So I'm not asking you to do a separate thing and go record a podcast. You just took your video and converted it into an MP3 file. So after I'm finished with this entire omnipresence factor, I'm actually going to share some resources with you that you can use to easily take your videos and convert it into MP3s. Okay. For those of you who record your videos in Zoom, Zoom automatically creates an MP3 file, right? So you automatically have an audio file. For those of you who use StreamYard, when you record in there, StreamYard automatically creates an audio file for you, so you don't have to do it. But if you're not using any of those, I'll give you some resources on how you can simply and effortlessly take your videos and convert them into an audio file. Now, you can take that audio file and start building out your podcast now. Okay. Now you can use, I will, again, like I said, I will give you resources as well. You can use platforms like anchor.fm, and you just upload these videos, these audios on there. And as you build them up, you can have that attached to all your social media so people can find those episodes as well. Okay. So hope you're getting excited. We just took one video, we uploaded to YouTube. We took that same video, we just converted it into an MP3 file, or you might already have it, and we uploaded it to an online platform that starts building up your podcast. And by the way, you can take this podcast and put it on iTunes and Google Play and all of that fun stuff. Now, what else can be done? Now you can take that audio file and you can use, again, you can use a lot of online sources as well, and you can convert it into text format. Okay. So now text format of an audio of a 10-minute video or 10-minute audio, what does that look like? Well, you just clean it up and that becomes your blog post. There are many platforms online that you can use that are absolutely free, or some of them are very cost effective, that you can start building up your blog. Now, the beautiful thing about your blogs is, of course, you can connect them back to your social media, your Facebook, your LinkedIn. And by the way, if you're using LinkedIn, these blog posts serve as LinkedIn articles. It's beautiful, right? So they serve as LinkedIn article. I'll share some resources with you. Now, here's the other thing. Now that you have the text format, you can take the text format and start creating what we call your social media posts. So because you've already talked everything out, you can simply just, now you can just read your text and you can say, oh, you know what, I'm going to take this out and I'm going to make this as a quote. You can go to Canva, put a picture of yourself and put this right on there, right? So now you got social media posts based on the content that you have already created. So you're creating, remember, you're creating an omnipresence factor. You are everywhere all at the same time. Right? Are you guys getting this? Hope you're getting excited about this. I'll tell you why this part connects to the things that I already talked about in the previous video. Just hang tight. Now, by the way, are there, is there anybody watching this or listening to this, and you are like, you know what? I know I need to go live on my social media, but I just, I'm nervous and all of that stuff. Check this out. Here's what you can do. You can use a software called StreamYard. Okay, a lot of you know about this already. And you can take this very video of yours and you can put it in there and the video goes live for you. you're actually not live. You're actually not live. Hey, chances are, you know what? This video may be live on some of the social media platforms, and you might think I'm live. I'm not. I know. I'd be off. Like I might be talking to a client, I might be in a meeting, I might be hanging out with my friends, like whatever, right? But the whole idea is to use this to create omnipresence so that you're using technology and tools to create this factor for yourself. Now, I'll tell you why this is important. So this is what we call the omnipresence factor. Okay, so you're repurposing your content and you're everywhere all at the same time. My business partner refers this to as an auto content loop. You know, that is his term, and I want to make sure I give him credit for that. So now here's the thing. Oh, by the way, once you start making money, and if you're making, if you're making money with your business, and you're in real estate or mortgage broker or any of that, like it doesn't matter what business you're in, as long as you are making money, what I would suggest to you is that instead of doing all this yourself, you can hire a service. Like you can pay them like $300 per month, and they will do all this for you. You just create your videos, right? And then you give it to your assistant, and they do everything for you, right? So now that can come into play when you are making money and when you are consistent in building this content. You have to understand this framework before you get to that point. Again, if you want to talk about those VAs and all that stuff, I can talk to you about that. But the biggest thing is you want to build consistency around this. Notice that you're only spending 20 to 30 minutes producing the content. Now you don't have to think about it, right? All of that stuff. Now, so this is the omnipresence factor. So I did talk to you about, I'm going to share some resources with you. So let's talk about that. And then I'm going to talk to you about how this connects to the previous video that I had already made. Okay. So let me stop this, come back to your main screen. So, and then what I want to do is I want to share some resources with you on my computer here. So let's have a look at it. So there you go. You should be able to see my screen right now. And I think you can see my screen right now, hopefully. Yeah, there we go. All right. So here is one of the website. This is called convertio.co. Convertio.co, you can take any of your video files and you can convert it to MP3. Okay, just in case if you're not using Zoom or you're not using StreamYard, because those platforms automatically, when you record something in there, they automatically create an audio file for you. Here is this is where I first started off my podcast. This was called it was called Anchor.fm. So Spotify bought it. So you can go to podcasters.spotify.com, right? You can create an account for yourself. This is what my episodes look like. This used to be my podcast a while back. I used to do podcasts about the high performance mind. And so now you have them, and you can link these to your website, to your social media platforms, and all of that stuff. So this allows you to take your audio files, upload them in here, put a little jingle at the beginning, at the end, like, kind of the intro and an outro, and voila, you have a podcast. And again, we can talk about it on how you can connect it back to all of your platforms. Let me give you one example. So you know how you take your video and upload it to YouTube? In the description, you put all of your social media there, and you put your podcast link in there as well. That's just one. Okay, so that's that. What else do I have over here? I have Temi. Temi.com is a way for you to take your audio or video file and convert it to text. Okay, so this is you can try the free version of it. You can also try rev.com, rev.com. I think they're both connected, these two. But I've used both of these as well. They're really great. And then for those of you who would write out your content first and then you want to create video, you can use this company. This is an app called Big View, BIG View, sorry, BIGVU. You can download it on your phone. A lot of times I might have a script in there that I put in there and I just turn it on. And the way the technology works, I'm just kind of, reading the script off the phone, but it looks like I'm looking at the camera, right? But the thing about scripts and reading scripts is that you can't show up on video reading scripts. That just doesn't create a connection with your audience. You have to perform the script. Okay, that's a topic for another time. But those are the resources that I wanted to give you, and hope this all makes sense to you, right? That this is how you create an omnipresence factor and still being effective in your time, so that it doesn't take over your life. Now, by the way, when we talk about this, like, you don't have to start all of the pieces all at the same time, right? Like, go steady, like, start with one piece, start doing, your video and YouTube channel, your video and going live and YouTube channel, and then, slowly go into the podcast and all of that stuff. That's how you do it. Now, why does this come before the ad strategy that we talked about in the previous video? A lot of people have not trained themselves. A lot of entrepreneurs have not trained themselves in producing steady stream of content, and they try to go into that ad strategy and they don't do well. They burn their money and they come around and say that it doesn't work. That's number one. So you have to get into the habit of producing content, and omnipresence factor is really about leveraging social media to be present all at the same time. Now, when you do use ads, when you do use the features of boosting a post, or when you put money behind it, well, you're going to be seen by hundreds and thousands of people. When they come to your platforms and they look at you, what do they see? Because if you're not producing steady amount of content, all of that money that you are spending in there, you're not going to see as much of an ROI as if you were somebody who's producing content continuously, right? So when they see you, when they Google you, all of a sudden they're like, oh, this is somebody, like, this person is not just like a, Joe Schmo kind of thing. And they just showed up. So this is how you create that factor. And this is why I always advise people that don't just create one little tiny 1 minute video and then, yay, I'm going to boost it. No, you have to start creating content on a regular basis, start becoming omnipresent, because it adds fuel to your ad budgets. It gives you a better return on your ad budget. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right, so that is part 2, my friends. Hope this was of value. I'd love to hear your feedback, and if you have any questions, put them in the comments, put them wherever you're listening to this or watching this, and we'll go from there. Okay, so now we're going to come to the other thing, and what the other thing addresses is the foundation of everything. Okay, so which is going to be the part 3. A lot of times people say to me is like, okay, Raza, you did simplify everything for me. All I need to do is just do 2 or 3 10-minute videos. But what am I going to talk about in those videos? So I'm going to talk to you about the content creation framework in my next video. We'll talk then. Hope this was good for you. Where's my mouse? I want to make sure I can end this. Have a good one, everybody. I'll see you in the next video.